The Big Footy Port Adelaide podcast is proudly sponsored by New Vision.
My team, Conda, power. I love the power. I love the power.
How you going, people? My name's Rick Neuenhoven. I'm part of the Big Footy podcast team. Unfortunately, Craig can't make it today, but we've got Ben Demertzis from the Port Adelaide Footy Club in the membership area with us tonight, who's come to have a quick chat about the memberships and what's available and what's going on. Ben, how you going, mate?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Rick. Thanks for having me. Good to be here.
No dramas. How did I go with your surname? Did I get it pretty close?
Yeah, pretty close.
Good work. It's not
Yep.
It's not long, but it's a tricky one.
Yeah. Once you say it enough times, it's fairly easy. But I'll forgive you the first time around. That's okay.
Good work. Well, I'm still a bit jaded, Ben. You promised me 1870 tickets and you couldn't deliver, so we'll call it even.
They're on their way. Don't worry.
Anyway, I thought a good starting place for the supporters might be to just to get a bit of a history of you with the club, how long you've been here, and were you a supporter of Port Adelaide beforehand?
Yeah, mate, absolutely. So I started as a full-time employee at the end of 2011, so December 2011, start of 2012. So basically for the membership period leading into 2012. Before that, I did some work in the community team just on a casual basis. So I studied sport and rec management at uni pretty much for the sole purpose of trying to get a job here at the footy club, and did some got some work through the community team. And then basically the AFL across all the clubs sort of saw that there was a issue with members dropping out every year. So clubs didn't seem to have a problem picking up members, but they did. They just sort of drop off and churn out at the bottom. And so they basically, a lot of the clubs took it on board, and we were one of them, and created a position like membership retention. So I was lucky enough to win that job. It was membership retention coordinator. So my sole focus really was just making sure that we wouldn't lose our members. So, and a lot of work goes into that behind the scenes, just in creating a really good database and making sure we can communicate with our people, listening to our members, and just sort of knowing what they want. And I did that for a couple of years. I sort of looked after our supporter groups, so cheer squads and the supporter groups interstate. So I was lucky enough to go away to most of our games and get quite up close and personal with all of our people, of our supporters, and which is great because I've Barrack played my whole life. I think I was lucky enough. I was born in 1980, so I was the premiership year for the Maggies, and I was lucky enough that once I really started getting into footy, we won, I think, 9 out of 12 SANFL premierships, and I never really followed anyone in the AFL. I was always just basically waiting for us to make our way in there, and then obviously in 97 we did, so it was pretty easy for me. I've always grown up a Port Adelaide person, so when we entered the AFL, I was Port Adelaide through and through. So and then obviously, like I said, lucky enough to get a job here at the start of the 2012 membership period. So it was a bit of a dream come true, really. And then we sort of, as our membership team grew and we got extra staff and stuff, we sort of had a bit of a restructure late last year, or mid to late last year. And so now my role's membership manager. So it's just changed slightly. I've just got maybe a few more responsibilities, just managing the team. But we've got a good group here. As you could imagine, we've got nearly 53,000 members already. So a lot of work goes in behind the scenes just to make sure it gets right and runs smoothly. And I think to date we've done a pretty good job. So, but as always, I love listening to I actually keep an eye on Big Footy myself just to see what the members are thinking, and I like to go to all our training sessions and stuff just to have a chat with people, because we know we can always do better. And we've had good results the last few years off field with our membership stuff, but we're always up for getting better. So hopefully also from this as well, it'll prompt some more questions, and happy to answer anything that comes my way.
No, that's excellent, mate. It's interesting that you brought up that there was an increased focus on membership retention. I know that's been spoken about by a few posters on Big Footy and on the internet in general for a while. So since you've started Have you seen much improvement, and has the retention figures improved?
Yeah, they have. Yep. So I can't remember the exact numbers, but basically there was a really big focus on first year members to start with, because first year members quite often would just join up, and then about the rate of them dropping out was 50%. So, for example, we might be getting 5,000 new members each year, and 2,500 of them would just drop off. So we just had to have a focus on making sure that they were made to feel a part of Port Adelaide. So, and that's not to lose focus on our longer term members. Like we certainly want to look after them as well. But there was a little bit more of a focus just on, well, not more of a focus, but there was an intent focus on, well, why are first year members dropping off? And it was just basic things like we were missing email addresses or mobile phone numbers, so we just couldn't communicate with them. And so just little things like that we've improved. So numbers are much better now. So I think last year, first year member retention rate was about 83% or something like that. So in a couple of years, it's gone up by 33%. And there's a whole heap of factors for that. Obviously, our on-field performance helps as well. But we like to think that if we can get all the customer service stuff right, all our members, making them happy and listening to them and giving them what they want, it just naturally happens, and then people just want to come back and they want to be a part of Port Adelaide. And also, our game day experience helps. So just, our Port Adelaide people just love, just about everything that happened last year, from the march, from the mall, the team entry with Rudimental, Never Tear Us Apart. And so all our members play a part in keeping other members on board as well, just by creating a really good environment on game day. And so, to answer the question, yeah, retention rates have improved significantly. We also had a focus, I guess, on what we call the lapsed members. So they're members who might have been members, 2 or 3 years ago, but dropped off for other, various reasons. So we get information on that. We actually ran a campaign called "What Would It Take," which was basically we had about 45,000 people who were members of the club but dropped off since went to the AFL, and we just basically said, apart from on field, which we can't control, is in the membership team, what would it take to get you back on board? And we probably found that our member service levels dropped away a little bit, so we had a bigger focus on how do we improve that. So, and I guess the results in the proof is in the pie, I suppose. I don't have the exact figures, but of our 53,000 members, and of even the new ones over the last 2 years. So obviously we had a massive jump from about 37 to 41 and then 55 last year. The majority of those new people are actually, they've been members in the past. They're not actually brand new Port Adelaide people. So we feel that whatever we're doing, we're obviously winning back the people that once were supporters anyway, which is pretty important. So, because obviously if you've been a member once before and you've dropped off, perhaps we didn't do the right thing by them, and now they can see that we do is a member first focus. So, and I think that was certainly I hope it's come across, because that's how it is in here in our membership team. Basically, anything we do, the first question we ask is, will our people like it? And if they do, well, then we work out ways to make it happen. And I think that just with that attitude everyone has, it has a flow-on effect, and our members, they feel a part of the club, and then those who aren't want to come back. So, which is great for us. I just being a lifelong Port supporter, it's actually pretty exciting to think that we can make a difference and get these guys that might have felt a bit disgruntled in the past to get them back on and come and watch Port Adelaide again. So
absolutely
exciting. Yeah.
I love seeing the photos on Big Footy and even online on Facebook, where people keep posting their membership packs coming in the post and how they're excited, and they love getting the pen and the badge.
The pen, yeah. So you're a Big Footy guy. Did you get a Jarman Impey renewal this year, Rick? Did you get that renewal notice?
No, I didn't, mate.
Oh,
What's going on there?
Well, we know that Jarman Impey is a bit of a legend amongst the Big Footy guys, and
yes,
we sent out a renewal notice with Jarman Impey direct, so he basically wrote it. But it didn't quite get the cut through we would have hoped, but that's all right.
I do know people from Big Footy have commented about the Jarman Impey membership drive, so it has been noticed, and it's great to see little innovative things like that. I think that's how you've been able to reconnect with all the membership base, not only just Big Footy. It's you guys, like you said, you guys are doing something right because you're able to connect with the members, and that's showing in the membership figures. And as he said, nearly 53,000 members, and if I'm right, I reckon REH put up last week, or if it wasn't him, I apologise to who it was, but I think it's about 13,000 higher than what it was at the same time last year. So you guys must be overwhelmed and enthused by the results you're getting so far.
You probably took the word. We are overwhelmed and enthused. That's 100% right. REH is pretty close with his figures. I won't dispute him, that's for sure, because I don't have him directly in front of me, but that sounds about right. We are well ahead of where we were last year, but now the challenge is basically we've got most of the people back from last year, so now we've just got to make sure that we do, the next few months are pretty crucial. We're pushing hard for 60,000 members, which just right up in the mix of the top few clubs with member numbers. But at the same time, we want to make sure, it's not just a number to us. So, all of those people, they're Port Adelaide people, so they're all really, really important. We've got to make sure that, because obviously, I think we might talk about it a little bit later, but we've basically exhausted our reserve seat membership. So now the best way, for the future to get a reserve seat membership is with the general admission waitlist membership. So. And the great thing about that, and we did a lot of research into, a couple of other clubs in the AFL have a wait list, like West Coast Eagles, for example, have a wait list, and we contact them and work out, well, what's the best way of doing this? And one of the best practices we thought was, not just having a wait list membership that doesn't give you anything other than putting you on a wait list. So we decided that our wait list members can still get access to all of our home games, so which I think is a pretty big draw card, because I don't think you'd want to be a member on the wait list for a reserve seat and not be able to go to any games. So, we've still got, there's about 7,000 seats that our general admission members can go and sit in, and there's still plenty of opportunity for people to join the wait list, get to every home game this year, and then still, it's a perpetual wait list. So if you were, number 1,500 on the list and we got to the first 1,400, the next year you'd be 100, if that makes sense. So, and we've had overwhelming success with that so far. So that's sort of where we're at the moment. Is we offered our members the opportunity to put in some seat change request forms, and this is the first year we've done it. So apologies to all those guys out there that are waiting to hear from us. We're pretty close to actually finalising it. I think pretty much today we've imported the last of the information. It's the first time we've done this as well, so it's a bit of a learning for us as well. So hopefully, all our members have been great and patient and understanding that we're doing our best to work through that. So pretty soon we'll start communicating with everyone via email to let them know if they were successful in relocating their seats. Unfortunately, due to the massive demand, not everyone will have their requests met, but on the same token, that's sort of a good thing because it means that everyone renewed their membership. So then when we get to the waitlist membership, that we think that we should be able to have that sorted by the end of February, start of March. Please don't hold me exactly on those dates, but we're working towards that, and then we'll be able to offer those who are on the waitlist a chance to get a reserve seat membership, and then we can get their tickets out to them in time for the first game against Sydney. But yeah, it has been overwhelming. We're pretty much in most of our key reserve seat categories hit where we were last year. Well, we did, because that's why there's not a lot of reserve seat memberships coming up. So we've done really, really well with that, which again is on the back of our members just wanting to be a part of it. So yeah.
So what's the for those people that are a bit anxious about this seating situation? And they are waiting. You think it's about a week or two away that they should receive some correspondence. If they feel like they've missed out on correspondence, should they just email the club or check the website? What's the best way they should look at interacting with you?
We're a couple of ways. We're trying to on the club website. There's regular update on, I think it might just be under the title membership information, important information, and we've updated that recently. Email membership@pafc.com.au or ring the membership helpline on 1300 467 232. But I think at the moment, probably just the information on the club website, have a read through that, and that should, I guess, answer any questions. But we're probably, like I said, a couple of weeks, at least a couple of weeks from the seat change request, offering that opportunity for people to change their seats. But it's I guess the first time, because it's the first time for us, it's just a little bit more time consuming than we probably hope, and also, like, we want to make sure that we get it right. So we've had a lot of requests, so we want to make sure that we hear all of those requests and that we can accommodate as best we can. I guess the tricky part for it is that just with the mass demand, and there isn't a lot of scope for people just to move one or two seats and that sort of thing. So, we have to offer this process to everyone to give them a chance to try and get better seats, or if they want them. Yeah.
Fair enough. Every member's got to be treated equally. So
yeah, absolutely, yeah, and we genuinely believe that. Like we want to give everyone the best chance to have the best experience they can with us. And on this occasion, it's probably taken us a week longer than we had hoped, but it's a learning curve for us as well. But like I said, our members have been so patient and understanding that we're doing the best we can with it. And I think to date with this seat change stuff we've kept up all right, because we haven't. We certainly we have had people asking us about it, but the tone of the questions have been pretty positive, and just wondering, how long till I hear, and no, everyone's been really, really, really happy about it. And I think, to be honest, everyone, they're just more anxious because they just can't wait for the season to start. Which I know, in here we certainly can't. Like, I can't wait to get back to Adelaide Oval, for our game. We're going to get. I don't know if I should say, we're going to break the record. We're going to get the biggest crowd at Adelaide Oval, I reckon. So
nice work. I reckon you're right.
Yeah. So I know when I heard was it the Strikers, they reckon they got more to their game than our record. So I'm pretty sure that we're going to get as many people as we can there. So I think people are just they're asking questions just because they want to know what's going on with the club, and everyone just we're just. Our supporters are that in tune with what's going on. They just want to be a part of everything. And once again, even this Big Footy just gives people, this podcast gives people a chance to hear what's going on. So it's great.
No, it's great, and thanks for giving up your time too. Hey, with the membership numbers, Ben, do you have a rough idea on the 11 game or the season membership compared to the 3 game? Has there been a bigger uptake from 3 games to now full season memberships? How are we tracking there?
Oh, well, to be honest, we can't quantify that until we offer the opportunity to. So we know a lot of 3 game members have upgraded to join the wait list, but we just really, because we basically reached our limit for reserve seat members last year, we can't, I guess, put a figure on that until the waitlist members are transferred into 11 game members. So, but basically, what I'm saying is that most of them have upgraded a lot of them have upgraded to try and get an 11 game membership, whether that be a reserve seat or the general admission waitlist membership. There's been the growth in that in the waitlist area. Like the general admission 11 game waitlist has been huge. I'm just having a look here, Rick. Sorry,
no drama.
Should have got in front of me.
Well, how many was it last year while you're having a look? Was it about 30,000 full season members? And
yeah, that's about right. 11 game members, that's about right. Yep. It does. What I've got in front of me is just a big breakdown of each category in that. So, but that's about right. And then there's a breakup of obviously Adelaide Oval members get access to our games as well, and then we've got a lot of general admission members, a lot of country members, a lot of interstate members. So they're the ones who, I guess, make up the general admission membership. So the interstate members, we've got probably 3,000 of them, including Victorian, which is another area of growth for us as well. The 11-game general admission membership is obviously, because it's part of the waitlist membership, has gone through the roof. So that's really, really encouraging. So basically what it means is that we'll be able to, any seat that that a member didn't renew will be taken up by another member. So our which is good for a number of reasons, because it sort of underpins attendance. If you know you've got 30,000 11-game reserve seat members locked in, our attendance rates last year amongst that group was about 85-90% per game. So you just know amongst that, if the higher number you've got, that the higher, the more people come to the games, which is important for a whole number of reasons. It just adds to the atmosphere, adds to our game day experience, to help the players get over the line. And the more often you go to footy, the more often you're not going to want to drop off. You just hang to go again the next year and the next week. So, sorry, I don't know if I've answered that properly.
No, that's good.
But it's just hard to quantify at the moment, because we haven't. Basically, no one's dropped out of their 11-game membership, and of the ones that have, the waitlist members are just there to take it up. So, and we've got more waitlist members than there will be reserve seats that will be available. So basically, I guess on that, then we have increased our 11-game membership quite significantly.
Well, I think the other thing is too that from a club's financial perspective, it's going to allow you to do your budgets and have a bit more surety, knowing how much money is going to be in the bank as well. So that's a good thing. And it was Macca also wanted to know if you can sort of give us an idea what sort of uplift you're expecting from a monetary point of view in the memberships from the footy club for this year.
Yeah, to be honest, that sort of stuff's probably a little bit beyond me in knowing, or other than the fact that we will be making more money through our membership. I don't probably. I leave that to more like Keith and Richo and that. Like they go more over the bottom line stuff. So I don't actually have a figure, but we're definitely. We've basically. I think we're almost at our budget for what we reached last year already. So
awesome.
We know it's going to be better. But the finer details of that, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we might have to get Costa on or Tim for this question, but
that's right.
What about I know the corporate sales are tracking along pretty strongly as well, and I think there's some new packages floating around for that, but I think all the enclosed boxes are sold out, and I think the Western Stand corporate boxes are also sold out, so that's been pretty strong there.
I reckon that sounds right. I should have asked Costa a few more things. I was just having a chat with Costa just before I spoke with you, Rick, and he pretty much said that they're well on track. They're doing really, really well. So I think with them, it's mainly might just be hospitality stuff that per game. There's lots of great, we've got functions like before the bounce, each game that we do, the locker room, which is a great experience, all these sorts of things. I think that all the hospitality stuff that they're focused on at the moment, but I'm not entirely sure where they are at with all of their numbers, but I know that I think like most departments, everyone's ahead of where they want to ahead of schedule. Yeah.
No, it's great. It's a good, healthy sign, and I know they've had to put their pricing up. They've kept it low for a few years now, and it's good to see that they're still getting the sales, even with the increased pricing. So it shows there's demand and support from the core supporter base there.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I think for about 4 years, we basically held all of our season ticketed memberships at CPI, like just a very small increase every year. And we probably found that we underestimated what the seat was worth at Adelaide Oval, and so we've reviewed that, and our prices did increase, and in some categories more than others, but there certainly hasn't been any backlash at all. And I think that we've probably got the pricing mix right. We've done pretty well with that, and like you said, the demand is there. I mean, and the good thing is that all of our people, they've just bought again, they've just come on board and said, I want to be a part of Port Adelaide. So I think that despite in our area, despite the increase in price in some categories, it's been overwhelmingly positive, really, to be honest.
I'm talking loosely, and it's not your area here, but I'm pretty sure I read something somewhere as well when we're talking about the passion of the supporters. How I think we're one of the highest spend per supporter base for merchandise within the club material as well. So I think it just reinforces how connected the club is now with the members, and how the members conversely reward the club by supporting it through their expenditure, and I think it's a great thing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I know I don't have what you mentioned. I don't have like I said, I don't have the exact figures, but definitely our merch team have been doing unbelievable over the last 2 or 3 years. They actually even, I think, had to do a presentation to the AFL on how to I don't even know when to sell certain products and how to do it best online, customer service, a whole heap of things. So no, they've been fantastic. And I think the other thing that you said there, the important thing is that it shows that when you're just doing well across the whole club, people are happy to come in and buy their Guernsey from the club, which has been happening. And it's just, again, it shows how well we think that the AFL actually did stats on it that they believe that we've got the most connected and engaged supporter base in the whole AFL, which I think is something to be pretty proud of as a club, but also as a passionate Port supporter myself. So, I mean, I remember when I used to go to footy, I used to sort of pride ourselves on my brother and I, people would sort of have a dig at us about, oh, you only got 30,000 this week to the footy, and we would sort of be like, yeah, but it sounded like 80,000. Like we do pride ourselves on being, loud and proud and passionate and stuff. So for the AFL to actually recognise that, it's sort of, I think it's fantastic, and I think that our supporters, they like to know, I think we've got the best supporters in the world. I'm just actually looking at a photo here, Rick, of the march to the G for the preliminary final against Hawthorn.
Yeah, it was awesome, wasn't it?
I reckon there's about 20,000 people there. I think our supporters do that, and it's just a show of strength. It's that united front that they're going, well, we're here in Melbourne behind our club, and the support on that day was amazing. Hamish Hartlett came in and bought a couple memberships today, and we've got a big photo of it up in our membership department, and he was saying that the crowd that day was just the most amazing he had ever been, and it was just sort of, I know we're not at where we want to be yet, we want to win premierships and stuff, but it certainly shows that I feel that all of the supporters are behind what we're doing, and the players get it. So
you're talking about the Port Hawthorn prelim, and he was commenting on the crowd there.
Yeah, it was incredible. He was commenting on it was like a home game. We were louder than their Hawthorn.
Mate, it was amazing. We were at the I don't even know which end it is, closest to the city, I guess, but. You could see the section, the blocks, how it was sold, and it was 1 to 3 Port to Hawthorn supporters, I would imagine, and I was with Craig, funny enough, and we were commenting, and everyone around us was commenting how loud we were, and even the Hawthorn supporters after the game were like, "Wow, that's amazing! You guys are passionate." So it did make a bit of an imprint.
Well, I think funny enough, the following week I was lucky enough. I went to the grand final, the Sydney Hawthorn one, and I was just standing in line having a chat with, just lining up for a drink, and there was a Hawthorn supporter standing next to me, and we just started, just talking about the game and stuff, and it was actually really quiet at the MCG, grand final day. It was really weird, and this person had no idea I was connected to Port Adelaide whatsoever. I was just there as an average punter, and I said to her, pretty quiet today, isn't it? It doesn't feel like a grand final. And she said, yeah, not like last week. Those Port people were crazy. But she meant in a great, it was wasn't, when she said crazy, she didn't mean in a bad way. She was just it was, she actually gone and said it was amazing last week, the amount of noise and that. It was better, the atmosphere was better at the prelim than the grand final. So, and that's, like I said, just a credit to all of our supporters. I think they just love us at the moment, and which is fantastic.
That's awesome. This question is basically not an AFL-related question, but it does tie us in because there is a lot of EPL supporters, and obviously Adelaide Oval is of interest to the Port Adelaide faithful as well. So I was curious to know, do you think the Port Adelaide Footy Club will have any stock at Adelaide Oval for probably the Adelaide United-Liverpool game that supporters might be able to get access to?
Not 100% sure. I think that was only announced today, so it hasn't been high on the radar. But I mean, we've got a corporate facility at Adelaide Oval, which we've used for during the Test match and during some Strikers games. So I'm sure there will be opportunity, but I'm not sure to what extent it would be. So we've got a room that we call One, which is a fantastic facility in the Southern Stand, which gets used every AFL game, and I would hazard at a guess that that'll be used for that game, but I'm not sure yet.
Right. I reckon that's enough questions from me, Ben. Is there anything you wanted to add that I maybe didn't touch on before we wrap it up?
Not in particular. I think I went off track a couple of times. So I hope I didn't ramble too much. I won't lie. This is like I'm living the dream here, Rick. Like you wouldn't. If someone told me I'd be working at Port Adelaide when I was 10 years old, like I just wouldn't have believed it. Like I was one of those kids who would come to training days at Albert Oval and just bug the players for autographs. And I reckon sorry, I don't have any questions. I just hope I haven't rambled too much and given you too much junk for your podcast. So I hope found it worthwhile.
No, it's great. I reckon everyone that listens to the podcast is going to enjoy it because you talk with passion about the club. The listeners and the supporters of the footy club are passionate as well. And, the players are passionate. So, I think passion has been a massive word for tonight, and it's been an ongoing theme for the whole season. So I appreciate the passionate way you've spoken about your job in the club tonight, and I think it's been really insightful. So I think there's going to be a lot of interest in our little interview, and I hope it's provided some benefit, and I hope you don't get too many emails tomorrow from people wanting to ask you questions now, Ben.
We hope we do, Rick. That's what we're here for. We're here for our members, so that's why we exist. So that's what our team is here for, to make sure that people get the best Port Adelaide experience they can. So we're up for it, absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. Well, look, Ben, I appreciate you giving up your time and staying back at work, and we'll get you back on maybe later in the season, and you can review the memberships once it gets a little bit quiet for you, once the game day starts. And I appreciate your time.
No worries. Anytime, Rick. Always happy to help, mate.
Thanks,
Bogue threatening with every passing minute. Back to full forward. Off hands. Brown needed to trap it. Couldn't quite. Hassled out of it. Port Adelaide getting numbers. Wingard. No way. Staggering.